In boxing, they say every fighter has a price. But what happens when you're not allowed to collect it? This is the story of how one phone call, one rejection, and one contract buried a $40 million dream and might have buried a career along with it. This is the story of Ryan Garcia, Oscar De La Hoya, and the fight that never happened. Ryan Garcia, the flash, the speed, the left hook that once dropped Devin Haney 3 times in one night. At 26 years old, he should be in his prime. He should be calling the shots. He should be fighting for generational wealth. Instead, he's fighting for permission.
First of all, Ryan Garcia, Jake Paul wasn't close at all.
Because Ryan Garcia doesn't work for himself. He works for Golden Boy Promotions. He works for Oscar De La Hoya. And Oscar has other plans.
We're in talks to fight somebody else. You know, there's Barrios, who a lot of people are throwing out there for a world title.
December 2025, Jake Paul's team reaches out. The offer is simple. Ryan Garcia versus Jake Paul. Netflix platform, global audience, $40 million guaranteed, maybe more with pay-per-view points. For Ryan, this is redemption. After the Osterine scandal that erased his Haney victory, after the suspension, after the embarrassing loss to Rolly Romero, where he looked like he didn't even want to be in the ring, this is the fight that could save everything. Jake's team calls Golden Boy Promotions. They're ready to negotiate. They're ready to make this the biggest fight of 2026. And then Oscar De La Hoya picks up the phone and hangs it up.
And then Eric called me and I shut it down. Like, you know, it's just not gonna happen.
Just like that. No negotiation, no counteroffer, no conversation. I have bigger plans for Ryan, Oscar tells the media.
It just wasn't the right fight for Ryan. You know, what we want to build with Ryan is something special. We wanna make sure that he's on the right trajectory, the right path to get to the world title, to become a star, a superstar in boxing. And that wasn't it.
Bigger plans. Remember those words. February 21st, 2026. Ryan Garcia will step into the ring, but not against Jake Paul, not for $40 million, not on Netflix. Instead, he'll fight Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title on a platform most casual fans have never heard of, for a fraction of the payday. These are Oscar's bigger plans. Now here's where it gets controversial. Mario Barrios just fought Manny Pacquiao to a draw. Manny Pacquiao, who's essentially 50 years old and should probably be in a rocking chair somewhere telling stories about his glory days. Critics called Barrios one of the worst world champions in boxing. And here's the kicker. Ryan Garcia isn't even ranked in the WBC's top 15 welterweights. Not even close. So let me get this straight. Oscar De La Hoya rejects a $40 million super fight against the biggest name in combat sports to give Ryan an undeserved title shot against a weak champion nobody's talking about? These are the bigger plans, but here's what Oscar isn't saying. Here's what Ryan probably figured out too late. This isn't about protecting Ryan's legacy. This isn't about building him into the next Canelo Alvarez. This is about control. This is about contracts. This is about making sure Ryan Garcia stays exactly where Oscar De La Hoya needs him to be.
Ryan feel about that?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him.
See, when Ryan signed with Golden Boy Promotions, he signed away his next 3 years. Oscar owns his fights. Oscar owns his matchups. Oscar owns his future. And if Ryan loses to Jake Paul, if he becomes a meme, if he becomes a punchline, that contract becomes worthless. Oscar's investment goes up in smoke. But if Ryan fights Barrios, a fighter critics call mediocre, and wins, Oscar gets to parade around a world champion, his world champion, under his control, under his promotional banner. And if Ryan loses, well, at least he lost to a world champion, not a YouTuber, not someone who makes Oscar's entire sport look like a joke. It's not about what's best for Ryan Garcia, it's about what's safest for Oscar De La Hoya. And Ryan can't do anything about it. He can't fight Jake Paul. The contract won't allow it. He can't sit out and wait for a better opportunity. Oscar can shelf him for years, just like Guillermo Rigondeaux, just like countless other fighters who dared to challenge their promoters. He's trapped in a golden cage with a promoter who tells him it's for his own good, who tells him to be patient, who tells him bigger things are coming. But are they? Because while Ryan Garcia prepares to fight a paper champion, most people don't care about. Jake Paul is out there making mega fights, building his brand, collecting his checks. And Ryan gets to watch from home. February 21st, 2026. Ryan Garcia will fight Mario Barrios. He'll probably win. He'll hold up a belt, the cameras will flash, Oscar will stand beside him, smiling, telling everyone, "I told you this was the plan." But everyone watching will know the truth. This wasn't the plan. This was the prison. The saddest part? Ryan Garcia is one of the most talented fighters of his generation. Lightning-fast hands, knockout power, millions of fans. He should be headlining pay-per-views. He should be making life-changing money. He should be fighting the biggest names in combat sports. Instead, he's fighting for scraps because Oscar De La Hoya said so. They say boxing is the hurt business, but the real hurt doesn't come from punches. It comes from contracts, from promoters who see fighters as assets, not people, from a system that traps young men in their prime and tells them it's for their own good. Ryan Garcia wanted to fight Jake Paul. $40 million, global stage, his choice. Oscar De La Hoya said no, not because it was bad for Ryan, because it was bad for Oscar.